All right, are you ready?
I am.
All right. Welcome back, guys, to Real Estate in Color, where thinking small is just too colorful. And I'm so excited today. I told you I was going to have a special guest, and she's here finally.
Hey, guys.
This is Victoria Pope, aka Vicky P. And she is joining me today to just talk all things real estate in color. And I'm so glad to have her joining us today. Vicky, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just made a year about, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And I am loving the drama. Not drama. Let me not say drama. It's just the busy.
It's like the drama.
No, it's not. It's the busy, and having to balance time management, and then other ventures that I have going on besides real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been good. It's been good, and I'm loving it. I am loving it.
Yes. So tell me, what did you do before real estate? What got you into real estate?
Yeah, so I've always had some sort of like burning fire for real estate, even though I never saw myself here. The crazy part is I never looked at myself as a salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that I transitioned to, helping people buy and sell one of the largest investments that they will probably ever make in their lifetime. So I always had like a little niche for interior, exterior designing. And I'm like, I used to drive by properties that are like torn down. And I'm like, I wonder how much that'll cost, how much money you can put in there, the cliche flipping, those things I was really interested in. But I'm like, let me start with stepping stones. Let me actually become knowledgeable about what it takes to be a realtor or even just step into that realm. But here I am.
Here you are, and she is a beast. Let me tell you guys, she is coming in hot. We were on the team together for a little while, and I love the story of when I first found out you were joining the team.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? She should not be on the team for what,
It was so
and I remember, our team lead was like, just meet her. I was like, I don't want to even meet her. She hasn't earned her place here yet. She's not even licensed. Why is she just
I wasn't licensed, guys. I really wasn't.
But then the day, I didn't even plan on meeting you. The day you came into the office, Mark was like, hey, did you meet Victoria? I was like, no. And he was like, well, you walked right past her. And I felt bad. So I came in, and it's like, as soon as I put eyes on you, it's like, okay, we're friends.
I remember.
And it was just like, we were inseparable ever since. Mm-hmm. And then I just kept telling myself, I know we're cousins because you're from Southside Chicago, where my mom is from. You look like my family there. And so I'm like, we're cousins. We're just related. And so that's how you became baby sis.
Yeah, I know. You became big sis because you were the person I was asking, like, hey, I know this is probably a stupid question, but how do I put this person into my command? And you were there for me. You were there for me.
Always.
Yeah.
So one of the things I thought you'd be perfect to talk about is distractions.
Yes.
I know for me, when I first got licensed, it was so hard for everybody in my world to fully understand what it was going to mean for me to be a full-time realtor, meaning time on the dialer, time at open houses, time in meetings and on Zooms. And, I've lost friendships.
Yep.
Relationships were strained.
Yep.
Even with my own household, things just went crazy, learning how to balance and not balance and what's right and what's wrong, mom guilt for me.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what that distraction life was like for you when you first got your license.
It most definitely, it caused me some friendships. Mm-hmm. It did. I don't know if they're gone forever.
Right.
But it's just a lot of people that don't understand entrepreneurship, especially my friends, because they're military. You report in this time, you leave this time, the rest of the time is for you. It most definitely helped me, with my boundaries. Mm-hmm. When we were on the dialer, it's like, hey, don't call my phone. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm on the dialer. Like, because we can't get inbound calls and click over while we have the other line lining to get potential clients. But yeah, I was a gal that was out, not every weekend, but I was the one that was, hey, Pope. A lot of people know by my last name. what you doing this weekend? Or what you got going on? We got a barbecue. Those events I can't attend.
Mm-hmm.
I am following up on clients. I am showing. I am trying to educate myself on, contracts, addendums, and things like that. So a lot of my friends didn't understand. I'm like, oh my God, you're literally always working.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, because I'm trying to get paid,
Right.
And it's not necessarily just for bills. Like I have short-term, long-term goals. And, I need money, well, we all do. we all do, but it's just like, hey, I have a goal that I'm very firm on. Like I want to purchase another piece of property by this time frame,
Mm-hmm.
and I know what I have to do and what I have to give up in order to meet that goal.
Right.
So be it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are genuinely and truly, my friend, or you genuinely and truly love me, you will understand.
Right.
If not, I wish you the best of life.
I had to experience the same thing, almost reprogramming those people that were in my immediate circle. This is what my life is going to be like now. I remember having to sit both my kids down. I've got a 17-year-old and a 9-year-old. That's a huge age gap for them. And they understand on different levels, but saying, this is what mom has to do.
Yeah.
Even saying, to my daughter, you want a car? This is what I have to do to get you that car.
Yep.
You're going to have to let me work. I can't come pick you up from school because your belly hurts every time.
Yeah.
I'm in his zone. Same with my son. If you see the door closed, I'm on the phone. Leave me be. Unless y'all are bleeding, do not bother me.
Yeah.
Especially coming from what I used to do, being at home all the time with little ones, where I could pick up the phone and have an hour-long conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
That was hard for a lot of my close friends to understand that, hey, I'm not available. And now, even now, it's like programming my phone on the dialer.
Yep.
And they know that now, but it took a lot of hurt feelings.
Yep.
A lot of not understanding that this is a career for me. This isn't a hobby. Even my family, feeling like they had a hard time understanding she's never at home.
Yeah.
And feeling guilty for not being at home, but knowing this is part of the game.
Yeah.
Now I know it'll pay off later where I won't have to hustle as hard, but these first few years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously first is God and then it's work. I'm even to the point where, mother dear, let me give you a call back. Like my mom, like, hey, call me back. But work is priority for me because it funds. I'm a giver, so it funds like
island trips.
Right. Requires way more work than what I thought it would. It's like I need to find time for myself. I have been.
What even is that? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. I had just got, a pedicure like 2 months ago after 8 months had passed. And you guys, y'all didn't want to see what my feet look like.
Still don't want to see mine. Oh my gosh.
And the lady, obviously, she had some comments about it. But I'm like, ma'am, please. I know. But yeah, it's like I just got a massage 2 months ago. And I'm like, oh my God, it took 8 months, just to take a day for me.
Right.
And that was like, that's unacceptable. Like, because if I'm no longer moving and if I'm no longer capable, then what? My business won't be a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Did you feel guilty on that day that you took for yourself? During that time when you're getting the pedicure, getting the massage, did you feel that sense of guilt? Like, okay, I'm missing some action over here.
I'm not going to lie. Big sis, I did.
Yeah.
I did. Get a massage. You're supposed to be relaxed.
Right.
So, you hear the birds, the waterfall. It was none of that. It was like, oh my God, I could be, writing this letter, or I can be finishing schoolwork, or I know this is due tomorrow. I could get a head start on it. It was just all those things, I could be doing this to be productive.
Exactly.
Rather than, taking time for myself. So that's another nugget. Like when I do take those days, how can I genuinely enjoy them?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm figuring it out. It's a process.
It is a process. I think for me, I had a massage done. Now this was years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember even then the person saying, you don't know how to relax. And I didn't think, like, even while they were doing it, I was still so tense,
Yeah.
And they're like, just relax. And I'm thinking I am relaxing.
Yeah.
And they're like, just relax.
Yeah.
I've got my nails done. She's like, relax your hands. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
But, for me, it's just trying to find that balance. But what's hard is when I give myself that time, like during the holidays, the kids were out of school. And I was like, you know what? It's the end of the year. We've got 2 weeks left. I'm not about to close on anything.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be present at home with the kids. And I still did work from home, but I wasn't home with the kids. But getting back into that routine has been hard. You don't realize how dependent you are on your schedule until you let it go.
Right.
You know, and so now it's trying to catch back up and get back in the swing of making my phone calls, sending my thank you notes, and returning people's phone calls, like you said. And just turning myself off just feels so wrong. You know? I don't like it.
Yes, I don't either. It's just like the guilt feeling again. It's like, hey, I don't know why I have this condition in my mind, like even clients to be in the future, I need to talk to them every day, like give them a little nugget or something.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, it's like probably really not necessary, but I want my name grilled into their brain when real estate pops up.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, let me call Victoria because she checks on me every day. But realistically, how can we check on someone, you know, every day, especially if we're working with people that's not buying for 12 months or 6 months, and, you know, and it's like about 10, 15, 20 of them. You can't. And not have a life of your own. Yeah, so I'm like.
I learned the hard way with one of the clients I worked with. She was just very, very intense and serious. But she called me one day. She goes, come to my house to meet with me. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to come to your house. I got other things to do. Like, if we're not writing an offer, for what? But drove all the way to her house.
Yeah.
And she's about an hour away from my house. So she said, when I don't hear from you every day, I don't feel like you're working for me. I said, okay. You know, I'm just like trying to hold my mouth. And then, you know, I'm just doing this,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she says, and I don't like it when you say, because to me, you're not listening. And I'm like, what is happening? She's on one, right? But what I learned in that moment was, you know, just like we have love languages, I think our clients have love languages.
Yeah.
And hers was almost like physical touch.
Yeah.
She needs that touch every day.
Every day.
So it's, hey, you know, just wanted to check in. What can I do for you today?
Yeah.
Do you need anything today?
Yeah.
You know, do you have questions for me?
Yeah.
Every day just to say, hey, I'm here. I'm still active here for you. And if that's what you need, you got it.
Yeah.
But that was a moment for me because I'd never thought about it from that standpoint that sometimes people do just need that every day.
Yes.
I need to know you're there. But when she said, don't say, I was like, oh.
So what do you want? What she wants you to do? It's
she wants me to
listen.
sit there and actively listen.
Yeah.
But it's so hard.
I learned a thing or two about
right? But it was so hard to just sit and stare at her like this.
Right. Right.
Because you feel like I want you to know that I'm listening to you and I'm acknowledging, but she was like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
so you brought up a good point. Like there are different love languages for everybody. Because some of my clients, it's like, okay, what do you have for me? And I was just checking in, you know, nothing at the moment. They was like, okay, well, let me tell you about these shoes I just bought. It's nothing real estate.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just that personal connection. And sometimes it's not even about real estate, but it's just like, I want them to know I'm here. You know, I'm present. If you need me for anything, you know, I'm here.
But I think that's what it is like you said, staying top of mind for whenever their real estate need does come up. Let me call Victoria. She's been answering me all these other times. She's going to be there for me. Or, hey, this is my girl Victoria. She's going to help you out. You know
Yeah.
Tell me one of your most colorful real estate stories since you have been in business. I think we all have one.
Like colorful, like
colorful can mean so many different things. This could mean where you may have even experienced something around your race, but it could also mean what was the most craziest, wildest, funniest experience that you've had.
So as far as the race, like I think I have conditioned myself to not entertain it. I'm pretty sure there's been some side eyes. I'm pretty sure, especially because, you know, with I'm pulling up with braids. I'm pulling up with the bun. That's huge.
Right.
That's me. Like if you don't want a realtor with a bun on top of her, I don't know. That's just who I am as an individual. Right. I'm pretty sure I've got some of those, you know, side eyes or, you know, the whispers to the side. I don't pay attention to it because at the end of the day, if you want to work with me, we're going to work together.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, on to the next.
Right.
From the very beginning of my career, and I know he's not going to see this because
Ooh, I already know.
I was so grateful for this moment because it did teach me a lot.
Right.
It was red flags right out the gate. This is a client that was, you know, cold feet.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we turn a corner. And, you know, obviously, I think it was one of my first clients that I had. So I'm going out of my way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm stopping my due diligence, like things that I implemented like every day that I would do for myself, mental, health wise, just to make sure he's taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen 20 plus homes. And
Ooh.
obviously, you know, I got coaching from that moment. Like there's no way you should be looking at that many homes.
Right.
Finally found the home for him. And, you know, I honed in on his motivation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you know, from the beginning, you told me this is the reason why you want to move in immediately. You know, we went through a lender, we get all that squared away. This is the house. It's in your budget and it literally checks off 99% of the boxes that you have.
Mm-hmm.
The contract gets sent over and it's just like, okay, like, do you have any questions? What are you getting cold feet about?
Right.
Stayed up, and you know I go to bed early.
Right.
Because I'm up early.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed up past my bedtime, and I take that very personal, to explain each page to this young man.
Oh my goodness gracious.
He wasn't even young. Anywho, so you know I had to say it a couple times because he was a little bit older. And after that, I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, head to bed. We'll talk in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Pray on it, sleep on it, do whatever you got to do. We'll talk about it in the morning. In the morning, he was like, yeah, let's see what else, you know, is out there in the market. And I'm like, we speak French now.
Right.
You is going to see what's out in the market because I'm no longer working for you.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, like I put my foot down, I set a boundary and I fired him.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back to what you said about your braids.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Because I think for me, that's something that I won't say I've struggled with as a realtor of color, but I've always been more aware of my hair.
Yeah.
You know, I started off with the bright red hair.
Yes.
Loved my red hair.
Yeah.
But I made a decision based on the market that I knew I was working in. You know, especially at that time, I was more so in Destin.
Right.
And so saying, okay, if I were standing against two other agents in this $1 million home, and this seller was looking at all of us, I don't think he would choose me automatically because of my hair.
Right.
You know, and you know, I've said it in my first episode. You know, people of color were so expressive. And we express ourselves with our hair and our clothes and our colors and things like that. And so it was a moment for me where I felt like, okay, Justin, you got to tone it down just a little bit, just a little bit, because they're not used to that. Where if we were in Atlanta, you know, that's okay. That's the norm.
That's perfectly fine.
And so how have you felt being a woman of color in this industry as a realtor when you get dressed or when you decide on, you know, because you change your hair up all the time, you know, when you're doing your hair or the color that you put in your hair or things like that. How do you, what goes through your mind when you're thinking about those things?
So luckily, unfortunately, I was kind of conditioned to it already because coming from the military, you know, you have certain regs and regulations that you have to abide by. They don't accept that, you know, red hair or orange hair or not a color that naturally grows from your scalp. You have to have nude nails or, you know, a white plain French tip. And like you said, we're colorful. I'm colorful. So stepping into entrepreneurship, I was like, this is going to be the opportunity for me to be me. I'm naturally braids. I'm naturally, like I said, that huge bun. Like I'm going to pop out in a powder pink suit. Like I'm not going to have on that cliche black and white, you know, blending in. I feel like powder pink looks professional. A baby blue looks professional, depending on how you know, dress it up. I know there are, sometimes how I present myself is not socially acceptable, you know, by many, but I just hone in on me being me. And I am very spiritual. So like, if it is for me, it will be for me. Regardless. And if it's not, regardless. And if it's not, then it's not. And then, like I said, I don't even think about when I put my braids in, it's like you accept it or you don't. This is who I am. Right. Be for me.
I like that. I love that headspace because it says I'm confident enough to know my worth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the job done regardless of the color
Yeah.
of my nails, my hair. Have you felt since being a realtor, maybe even in the military, that you had to overcompensate because you were a person of color?
Absolutely, because perception is as unfortunate as it may be. Perception is the first thing, you know, people make their perception based off how you visually present yourself. So that's why I feel, this is how I personally feel, because I'm in school going for my appraisal's license. The more knowledgeable I am, I personally feel like, okay, if I get my appraisal's license, if I get my home inspection license, if I get all these licenses and my real estate license, I need to overwhelm myself with so much knowledge revolving around real estate that no matter how I look, they have no choice but to come to me, because I know this much more than the next person, even though they have on the black and white suited and booted tie and whatnot. I know more.
Right.
So I do feel like I do have to overcompensate. I have to provide more, just, you know, to have those clientele attract to me. Like, yeah, she's a little bright, but she knows this, she does this, she does this, she's done this for me. I do feel like I need to be able to provide way more value than, you know, just the agent next to me.
Right.
Which is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think I won't say it's a sad thing that we have to do that.
Yeah.
But I do think that it is a good thing to have all of that knowledge, because it just makes you stand out.
Right.
You know,
right.
Regardless. I love that.
But I feel like that is something that, okay, because, you know, I don't look like the norm. This is, you know, this is what I have over the next.
Right.
And it's going to help you make your decision to why you should come my way. But yeah, most definitely, I do feel like I have to overcompensate. Yeah.
The one thing I know I have started doing, just because it's happened even, you know, a couple weeks ago, is I don't want anybody to be surprised by who they're getting ready to work with. So when I'm texting or in that first initial conversation, I send them my email header or footer, so that way they can see my picture, they can see who I'm with, my association, but they know who they're getting. So that way, if that's going to be an issue for you, let's go ahead and nip that now.
Nip in the bud now.
You know?
Now let me ask you, do you feel as if you have to overcompensate?
I do. The way I feel like I have to overcompensate, one is my hair. You know, just because I don't want somebody to look at me and say, she's too urban. Yeah. She's too ethnic. You know, and it's sad that I have to think that because of the area that we're in and the market that I'm trying to go after. Yeah. I like to dress colorful too. And so it's sometimes thinking, okay, where am I going? If I'm going to Destin, I need to dress this way, you know, versus if I'm in Fort Walton, I can dress this way. And so a lot of people may say, oh, you should dress the same everywhere. But for me, I can't do that. Right. You know, because even when dealing with someone else that's like me, I want to be relatable to them. Right. So this is how I need to dress in this area versus this area. If I'm going to Pensacola, I know how I need to carry myself and present myself. Yeah. And even in the way that I speak, you know, I have to sometimes make sure, okay, Destiny, slow down, talk clear, talk proper. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just so they see, okay, she's somebody that I know will get this deal across the finish line. Right. You know? Where I know is somebody else would probably not have to do those things. I think that's where I feel like I have to overcompensate. Yep. Okay, so last question. What would you say is right now your biggest distraction as a realtor?
My biggest distraction is my hair business. It is. I acknowledge that. I prayed on it. It was about like a month ago. It's like I had to tell my clients, like, hey, I'm slowing down on hair business. I didn't leave them cold, high and dry. I referred them out. But it's like, if I really want to be great in real estate and expand and do bigger things, I understand that I have to let some things go. And my hair business was marked as number one. And it's this quote, I forgot who said it, where energy flows, focus goes, or something like that. So it's just like, if you put 100% of your energy into one thing, and then my mentor as well, I'm not going to name call, but you know who you are. She said, hey, how about this? How about we focus in on one thing and we get really good at it? How about that? Let's give that a try. Because there was a one point of time I was thinking about opening up a staging business. And she gave me a call. She was like, wait a minute. Slow down, gym shoe.
You were all over the place at one point. I remember.
She whipped me back, right? She was like, hey, let's focus on this one thing and get really good at it. And then we can venture off.
Right.
And I was like, received. Yeah.
So, I love that. Yeah. I think what this kind of turned into more so is having those people in your world and in your immediate circle that will check you, not be afraid to be transparent, hurt your feelings a little bit, but that support you and that understand your career and what it takes. Because I know for me, I've had to establish, okay, you guys are my core. Yeah. You guys are my cheerleaders, even if I'm having a rough day. But then those same people will tell me, Destiny, you slipping. Yeah. You know, Destiny, okay, it's time for you to stop feeling sorry for yourself. You know, wipe your face and let's go.
Get up. Yeah. And I love like our core people. They're brutally honest. They're not, you know, considering feelings. No. They're like, listen, get it together and get it together now.
They're on the phone crying.
Right.
Like I was a little girl. Okay. All right.
Like, get out of your emotions and get out of them right now.
Right.
I'm like,
that is enough.
But yeah, I'm so appreciative for the journey.
Yes, it is a journey, and it's only just begun.
I know.
I'm so excited for 2025. We were sharing our 2025. Yes, that's for another episode.
Yeah, it is. It's some good stuff, guys.
It's good stuff. But I'm so grateful. We're gonna do this again. And this is one of our homes. One of the things I like to do when I'm doing these podcasts is sit in an actual home that's, you know, on the market. This is a wonderful home that she sits during the week. And so we're here. It's staged beautifully out in Navarre. So if you guys are looking in Navarre, she's your girl. She's out here all the time. Give her a call, Victoria Pope. And thank you so much for being here. Can't wait for you guys to come back and join me again. And this is Real Estate in Color. We're thinking small is just too colorful. Bye, guys.
Bye.